Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So Sangat Ji, as you know, last year we had the Sarbat Khalsa in November, and that was a very big moment. Everybody had a lot of expectations. There was a problem with Jahedars. Before they'd given forgiveness to that Sacha Sauda guy, Jhutha Sauda guy. They'd also given, they hadn't really dealt with the Biadbi issue of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. So therefore, the Sangat came together. From what looked like a Sarbat Khalsa, about 500,000 people there, and there was an organising committee, and somehow in the back some decisions were made, and these four people's names came forward. The first one was Akal Takht Jahedar Sahib, which was for Sardar Jagtar Singh Hawara, who's done a lot of seva for the Panth, and obviously, given the ultimate Qurbani to be in prison. And then you had his acting replacement, which was supposed to be Dhyan Singh Mand, who actually happens to be Simranjit Singh Man's right hand man. Then you had Baljit Singh Dadwal chosen as Jahedar of Damdama Sahib, and also we had Bhai Amrik Singh Ajnala chosen as Jahedar of Kesgarh Sahib. Now with these three people, four, the problem is coming now is that the aim for them was to be the Jathedars until April of this year, and then basically to set up some kind of World Sikh Parliament. That was the aim. So they were supposedly in place temporarily until they set up the World Sikh Parliament, and the world Sikh people could come together and choose a new set of Jathedars that were going to take us forward. Now what's happened, some of them got arrested, 3 of them got arrested, put into prison, then they came out. They've been out for about 5 months. So the problem is that in the last 5 months we've not been given any big plans for a World Sikh Parliament that we could express our views upon, and a Sarbat Khalsa has been called for November. Now what's happened is that the group that is running this, which is basically Baljit Singh Dadwal, Amrit Singh Ajnala and Dhyan Singh Mand, they've been quite closed amongst themselves, and they haven't really involved the wider intellectuals, the Gyanis, the Pracharaks, to say how do you think they should work, nor have they really consulted the people abroad, so UK, America, Canada. And this has led to a lot of people saying, you know what, this seems like the people that were chosen just by the group that called that meeting, and we all know that it was pretty much Simranjit Singh Man's group that called that initial last year Sarbat Khalsa. So this caused a lot of suspicion. They've also not been communicating too well with Jagtar Singh Hawara Sahib. So what's happened now is that Jagtar Singh Hawara from prison has issued a letter which was with his father and his main spokesperson, and it was read out, and what it said is, I would like the next Sarbat Khalsa to be convened by the Panj Pyare. Now who are these Panj Pyare? These Panj Pyare are the ones that resigned, that stood up to the SGPC and what they were doing, including the Jahedar di Akal Takht, the Sarkari Jahedar, as you might say, and they said, you know what, we don't accept that. And they obviously, Bhai Satnam Singh is the main spokesperson for those Panj. Now at that time they were hailed as heroes, but they didn't get involved in Sarbat Khalsa that much. However, this time they've said they will take on that responsibility if Jagtar Singh Hawara gives them that responsibility. So basically what's happened now is that these Panj are being requested by Jagtar Singh Hawara to run the Sarbat Khalsa. So what's happened since then is that firstly a bunch of sort of statements have started to come out from the 3 Jathedars, which have firstly said that, you know what, only we have the right to call Sarbat Khalsa. This is very similar to what the previous Akal Takht Jahedar Gyani Guru Bachar Singh was saying, that only we have the right to call Sarbat Khalsa. So now there seems a bit of an argument about who gets the right to call it. The problem also is that now that Jagtar Singh Hawara seems to be saying, you know what, if you guys can't run it in public with everybody else, I'm going to give it to these guys. What they've started to do, the 3 Jathedars, is to issue statements that are basically saying maybe we made a mistake about choosing Jagtar Singh Hawara, he's in prison, he can't really communicate, and also making suggestions that perhaps he should just resign. Yeah, and it's a big thing, because if he resigned, then really out of all those 3, the biggest credibility goes on Jagtar Singh Hawara. Most of the people that believe in the Sarbat Khalsa last year do so because someone like Bhai Jagtar Singh Hawara, who's done so much Qurbaniya for the Panth, is the one that was chosen as the main Akal Takht Jahedar. So to summarize what's going on right now is a bit of a power struggle between the Panj, who are not seeking power but have been mandated by Akal Takht Sahib Jahedar, who we accept as Bhai Jagtar Singh Hawara, and on the other side you've got the 3 that were chosen as temporary Jathedars up until the World Sikh Parliament was set up, which they haven't really set up or given any solid plans about. Now, the 3 are still stuck on calling the Sarbat Khalsa in November. Whereas what the Punjab said recently, and they've asked, and this is what the video is about, is they've said, you know what, the Panth is not ready yet for Sarbat Khalsa. We haven't involved everybody, we haven't had a consultation, we haven't set up the World Sikh Parliament, all the different groups aren't involved in consulting about how that should be set up. So what they're saying is actually what we need is to have a whole bunch of consultation between every other group out there and then bring people together. The next Sarbat Khalsa can't be behind closed doors. Now what I'd like at this point is to introduce that we're going to put up a video which is going to have an audio conversation that I had with Bhai Singh Dadwal, because I met him in Montreal. I was in Montreal doing Prachar and he just happened to be there, and there was a Q&A, and I said, okay, I'd like to go and sit there. And I asked him this question, and you've seen the video. Basically I asked him, can you please explain to me how you got selected? Because for me, I was not sure about the process that went on behind closed doors and who were the people involved in making that decision. And he really said, I don't know who the people were. And in the end he came back to the organizing committee, and that organizing committee was pretty much all people that were linked to Simranjit Singh Mann, and which is the biggest kind of risk that everybody seems to be having right now, is has the Sarbat Khalsa been hijacked? So obviously we don't want it to be hijacked, and what we don't want to do also is that the Sarbat Khalsa is organized by the current 3 Jathedars in Damdama Sahib is booked for November. If that goes ahead as they're planning it, the problem is that loads of people might turn up, but they might not get consulted, and it might just in a way be just a political rally, and it needs to be much more than that. So firstly, the Panj have decided that there needs to be an open consultation between all the groups on this coming Tuesday in Chandigarh. So the Gurdwara is in sector 38B, is Gurdwara Shahpur Sahib, and they would like everybody to turn up there this coming Tuesday, the 18th of October, from 12 o'clock. So that's the first request from them, from the Panj Singhs that were previously the Panj Pyare of Akal Takht Sahib, that everybody should turn up. All the Jathebandiyan are invited, all the Prachariks, all the Vidwans are invited. If you can make it, if you're in India right now, go there and join in and basically be part of the consultation. Now the second thing is that what they've asked is, let's not rush through with the Sarbat Khalsa, and we agree with that. You know, Sarbat Khalsa is a very important institution, and if you're going to set up a World Sikh Parliament or some kind of global consultation of all the Sikhs abroad, then it needs to be something which is well thought out and everybody gets a chance to give their views. When I spoke to Jathedar Bhai Singh Dadwal, what he said is that we're asking people to email, and I was like, look, it's only 2 months left, and you want people to email you with their suggestions. What we need to do is a plan should be up, and people should be offering their views on that plan, and maybe there should be some kind of voting system where people can say, actually no, I agree with this bit, I don't agree with this bit, and tick bits that they like most. These guys aren't that technologically advanced, and that's part of the problem as well. In summary, the one thing we don't want to do is have left the 4 Jathedars, the 5 Jathedars from before, pick these new 4, and then end up with a fight between them, between Jagtar Singh Hawara and the 3, and also having to then replace these 3 and them holding on to power. Secondly, we don't want to have a Sarbat Khalsa called by the 3 Jathedars and one called by the Panj Singh Sahiban, because what that will do is people will start losing respect for Sarbat Khalsa, because there can't be 2 Sarbat Khalsas. So if we can't agree, then we should not hold it at the moment. The third thing is, there needs to be a proper system where basically you choose your leaders in every country at a micro level, at a country level, and then those leaders go and sit at the world level, international level, and then they make the decisions for the Panth. Obviously 5 million people on one day can't offer their views, and that no one's expecting that. So in the old days, it wasn't the case that everybody got there and people got to give their votes and stuff, but they never got a chance, okay, for every single person to come up and give their views. So we need to select leaders at a micro level and then go to the macro level, the global level. And for that, we need to start working now, and maybe by next year, April, we might actually have leaders in every country who are then selected to go forward to the World Sikh Parliament. Now, bear in mind that those leaders at the micro level, the country level, need to be credible and chosen by the Sangat. So we need to have a whole system of how to select the leaders at a national/micro level, and then for a system for how those leaders are going to come together at international level and make decisions. This is not something that happens overnight. It takes a lot of work, consultation, and what we can't do is rush through into Sarbat Khalsa and end up with another group calling a separate one, because that will confuse the whole issue and we will lose respect for the institution called Sarbat Khalsa. So benti to everybody, okay, let's work with Jagtar Singh Hawara. Let's work with the meeting called by the Panj Pyare. It's on this coming Tuesday, the 18th in Chandigarh. So please try and attend that. And benti from all of us, please remain informed about what's going on in Punjab, because these are serious issues. We ourselves last year, we tried to support the Sarbat Khalsa, the live streaming and the website that was done through Sevadars that were linked to us. And we actually tried to support them, you know, in many other ways as well. Now, one thing I want to point out is that this is a Panthic issue. And even if we're not living in Punjab, that doesn't mean that we don't have a right to have a view into the Panth. The Panth is global. And the fact that Bhai Jagtar Singh Hawara was there in Montreal and fundraising for Sarbat Khalsa means that obviously all of us globally are part of the Sarbat Khalsa. So benti to everybody, stay informed, arm yourself with knowledge, as we say, okay, and encourage your people in India that you know to attend that meeting on the 18th. Pulan Chokan Dekhiye Maji, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.